Good morning, friends. It is time to continue our reading of Ecclesiasticus on this Monday morning, the 17th of November. Thank you for joining us as we read the scriptures together this morning. Here's the big picture of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the Book of Sirach, also known as the Wisdom of Ben Sira. We're making good progress here. We're starting chapter 44 this morning. So we are down to the next to last section. The only thing that's left after this section is the closing chapter, which is a prayer and a poem. But for these next set of chapters, we read of the honoring of the ancestors, celebrating faithful examples of the stories of God's people. So, friends, let's read. As is and has been the custom, I'll be reading from the left-hand column, which is the Common English Bible. The right-hand column contains the text as it's found in the New Revised Standard Version, updated edition. While I'm pulling up the timer here, let me remind you, friends, that after this live, there will be a second live this morning. And in that second live, we will pray morning prayers. We continue in Ecclesiasticus. Now allow us to praise famous people and our ancestors, generation by generation. The Lord created great glory, his majesty from eternity. They ruled in their kingdoms and made a name with their power, some giving counsel by their intelligence, some making pronouncements and prophecies, some leading the people by their deliberations and by their understanding of the people's learning, giving wise words in their instruction, others devising musical melodies and composing poems, rich people endowed with strength, living in peace in their dwellings. All of these were honored in their generation, a source of pride in their time. Some of them left behind a name so that their praises might be told. For some there is no memory, and they perished as though they hadn't existed. These have become as though they hadn't been born, they and even their children after them. But these were compassionate people whose righteous deeds haven't been forgotten. This will persist with their children. Their descendants will be a good legacy. Their descendants stand by the covenants, and their children also for their sake. Their descendants will last forever, and their glory will never be erased. Their bodies were buried in peace, but their name lives for generations. The people will tell of their wisdom, and the congregation will proclaim their praise. Enoch praised the Lord and was transferred, an example of a changed heart and mind for generations. transferred, taken up. A way to try to explain the mystery, the sense that Enoch did not die the way that naturally people die. Noah was found perfect and righteous in a time of anger. He was selected in exchange for the ungodly. Because of him, a few survivors remained on the earth when the flood happened. Eternal covenants were made with him so that all living things would not be wiped out by a flood again. Abraham was the great father of a multitude of nations, and there was no smudge on his body. He kept the laws of the Most High, and he entered into a covenant with him. He established a covenant in his flesh, and when he was tested, he proved faithful. Therefore, the Lord certified for Abraham with a solemn pledge that he would bless nations through his descendants, that he would make him increase like the dust of the earth, exalt his descendants like the stars, and give them an inheritance from sea to sea and from the river to the end of the earth. He made the same commitment to Isaac because of Abraham his father. He made a blessing for all humanity and a covenant to rest on Jacob's head. The Lord acknowledged him with his blessings. He gave him an inheritance, divided his shares, and allotted them among the 12 tribes. The Lord brought forward out of Jacob a man of mercy who found favor with all living beings. Ah, that actually kicks over. That's an odd spot for a chapter break, isn't it? I think it's there because, well, clearly we're not talking about Jacob anymore. And we're jumping quite a bit from Jacob to the next. Let's start this back here. The Lord brought forward out of Jacob a man of mercy who found favor with all living beings, dearly loved by God and human beings. Moses, who is remembered with blessing. The Lord made Moses' glory equal to that of the holy ones. And he made Moses great so that Moses' enemies would fear him. By Moses' words, he brought signs to a halt. The Lord glorified Moses in the presence of kings. The Lord gave Moses commandments for his people, and he showed Moses his glory. The Lord ordained Moses because of his faithfulness and gentleness. He chose him out of all human beings. The Lord let Moses hear his voice. He led him into the deep darkness, and he gave Moses commandments face to face, and instruction for life, and knowledge to teach the covenant to Jacob and his laws to Israel. The Lord exalted Aaron, a holy person like Moses, his brother from the tribe of Levi. The Lord established an eternal covenant with him and gave him the priesthood of the people. He blessed Aaron with dignity and wrapped him in a glorious cloak. The Lord clothed him with unrivaled praise. and honored him with objects of power, leggings, a full-length robe, and the priestly vest. He encircled Aaron with pomegranates, with a great number of gold bells all around, in order to create a sound when he stepped, to make a sound that would be heard in the temple as a reminder for the children of the Lord's people. He clothed Aaron with the priestly vest, with gold, blue, and purple, the work of an embroiderer, with the oracle of judgment for making the truth known, with braided scarlet, the work of a craftsperson, with the precious stones of an engraved seal on a gold setting, the work of a jeweler, as a memorial in engraved writing, according to the number of the tribes of Israel. He set a gold crown upon his turban, carved with a sacred seal, an item worthy of praise, a work of strength, desirable objects to look at, richly adorned. Before Aaron, such beautiful things had not existed. No stranger will ever wear them, but only his sons and his descendants for all time. His sacrifices will be entirely burned up twice daily for all time. Moses ordained Aaron and anointed him with holy oil. It became an everlasting covenant for him and for his descendants for as long as heaven lasts, to minister to God, to be a priest at the same time, and to bless his people in his name. Moses chose him out of all who were alive to offer fruitful sacrifices to the Lord, incense and a pleasing aroma, as a remembrance to secure reconciliation for the people. By his commandments, the Lord gave him authority over covenants for judgment, to teach Jacob the testimonies, and to enlighten Israel with the law. Strangers conspired against Aaron, and they were jealous of him in the wilderness. Those who were with Dathan and Abiram and the company of Korah assembled in anger and fury. The Lord saw it and wasn't pleased, and they were destroyed in his furious anger. He performed wonders among them, consuming them in blazing fire. He added to Aaron's glory and gave him an inheritance. He gave him as his share the initial portion of the early produce. He prepared in abundance bread from the early produce. They also will eat the sacrifices of the Lord, which he gave to him and to his descendants. But he has no inheritance in the land of the people, and he has no portion among the people, for the Lord is your portion and inheritance. That, friends, is where we're going to pause, and next time we will pick up right here at verse 23. Talking about Phineas. It's interesting here to see that Phineas is described as Eleazar's son. Who's Eleazar? Oh, yeah, the son of Aaron, who we were just talking about, just reading about. Interesting that it just doesn't say Aaron's grandson. Thank you for joining us and reading with us this morning. Good morning, Linda. In a few moments, we'll pray morning prayer on another live.